For you to get an employment contract, you need to get an employer to employ you. Now, you need the employment contract to apply for this. As an international who is eyeing Canada, or if you have plans to enter in Canada using either a student visa, a visitor's visa, permanent residency, which is the pathway, the EE pathway, that's the express entry pathway, or a working visa, I talked about that, then this is a video for you to watch. In this video, I'm going to break down the 4 visas categories for you: the student visa, visitor, permanent residency, working visa, and I will tell you some important things that you should put into consideration and note them so that you do not fall into traps. If you are new to my channel, my name is Milton. Thank you so much for joining the platform. If you find our content interesting, please share to one person. Do not forget the subscribe button is below here. Subscribe and make sure you turn on the notification bell so that when I post the next one, you would be the first to watch. If you are not following us on Facebook, I equally drop videos on my pages. Please check from here. Thank you so much. So now, these visas are going to open your eye. Now, I dropped a post on my Facebook page and I said, I don't know when I dropped that post, and I said, there is a particular visa which is a short visa, and there is another one which is the easiest visa. And I gave my opinion. Today, someone was telling me otherwise. Now, as a student who wants to move to Canada, understand that you are going to be moving with a student visa, right? This student visa is the easiest visa. That's the shortest visa you can get. That's the duration when you apply for this visa. The duration is shorter for you to get the visa. According to IRCC, which is Immigration Canada, it takes maximum 6 weeks to get a response for your student visa application. But this student visa is the shortest to get, the easiest to get, right? The easiest because of the time frame given to it by IRCC. But is it the shortest visa? No, it is not the shortest visa. You can apply for the student visa and be rejected. You can apply and you get it. There is a lot involved when it comes to proof of funds, when it comes to documentations, especially the proof of funds section, because if you are showing proof of funds, you need to back the proof of funds with documents to prove how the money is coming in. If you have not been watching my videos, please make sure you watch the videos. They are there on this channel. Now, like I said, the student visa is the easiest to get and the duration to get it is shorter, right? But now, is it the shortest? No, it's never the shortest because you can apply for it and you can get rejected, especially if you do not show home ties, if you do not show sufficient funds, and if you do not document why you are applying to the school, what the program is going to say. That's their letter of explanation. So you need to put this into consideration before you start the visa application. But like I said, it is the shortest and fastest because IRCC says it's 6 weeks. But when you apply for this student visa, it is always good to apply early and give them 3 months to look at it. Because if you give them 1 month, or maybe even the 3 months, there is a tendency that you may not, I repeat, you may not get results on time. I have people who are still waiting for student visas till date as I'm talking to you, till the time you are watching this video. They applied more than 3 months ago. And I have someone who applied more than 4 months ago already in Canada. Her visa was granted after 6 weeks. She got a response after 5 weeks to go and do medicals. And that was at that point we knew that she is going to get the visa. What am I saying here? I'm saying that early application may help you get the visa. But listen to the first things I said before. Now, this video may help you. The next visa is the visitor's visa. This visitor's visa is one of the longest visas I can say I have seen so far. Why do I say so? If you apply for a visitor's visa, according to IRCC, some countries, it takes 330 days, like in Cameroon. Then other countries, it takes 370 days, like in Nigeria or Kenya. Why in other countries, it takes more days. But is it really fixed? No. Because some people will apply for this visa and they get it after 1 week. Some will get it after 2 weeks, some after 3 weeks, some after 1 month. While others will not even get it till it is like 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. Yes, I know people who got visitors visa after 2 years of application. I know people who have applied, they are still waiting after 4 months. I know people who got a rejection after 2 weeks. I know people who got a rejection after 3 weeks. But the tendency is that if you apply for a visa, especially the visitor's visa, and it takes longer than 3 months, you don't get a response. It takes 4 months, you don't get a response. Definitely you are going to get that visa, but it will not come within the time you were planning. Remember, it's a visitor's visa. Probably when you say you are on vacation from work, they take a look at your job. If they see that everything is corresponding, they may decide on the time to give you the visa because you told them you are on vacation. So probably they want to estimate to see when you are going again for vacation. But this does not totally work in all cases. But if your visa is more than 3 months, 4 months, without any explanation, no rejections, nothing, then just keep praying. You may get it after that time. But now, time is running, right? Yes. Even the student visa. But as soon as you are asked to do medicals, just know that you are getting the student visa. If your student visa exceeds 2 months, 3 months, then you should be worried because it may be rejected at the end. Another thing you should pay attention to is that student visas, as soon as your study program has started, for you to get the student visa again, you need to get a document from your university and upload on IRC to let them understand that even if your program starts, with the visa, you can still enter Canada, but in most cases, it is very, very rare. So you need to put this into consideration because a lot of people do not understand. Now, let's go to the third visa. This third visa is a working visa. I have been receiving a lot of messages from people asking me, Milton, I want to move to Canada. Can I get a working visa? But most of them fail to understand that for you to get a working visa, you need to get an employment contract. For you to get an employment contract, you need to get an employer to employ you. Now, you need the employment contract to apply for this working visa. Now, if you do not get the employment contract, how do you apply for the working visa? That's your reason of moving. So you need to first of all apply for jobs. These are things I don't know how to do them. I cannot do for anybody. And if you want to get them, try and start checking from a job bank. Apply for jobs, but you must remember that some of these jobs are not existing. Okay, so don't send money to anybody. If an employer finds you worthy, they are going to give you an employment contract and pay everything for you, depending on the contracts. Some people will tell you that pay 1,000 this for LMIA, pay this amount for LMIA. It is not true. If you give them your money, they disappear, you are the one responsible. I am just here to educate you because this channel is more about education. So please put this into consideration. It is very, very important. For you to apply for working visas, you need a working contract. And most of the time, like I said, most of the time, apply for these jobs. If you get the admissions, if you get the offer, fine. But I must tell you one thing, which I always tell people when they book a one-on-one consultation with me. I will not advise you to be applying for jobs because it takes the grace of God. And out of 100 people that will apply, about 70% will get a rejection. Not just 70, 80% and above will get a rejection. Will never get an answer. So if you are looking for easier way to go into Canada, look at the first 2 visas I mentioned. Now, the last one is permanent residency. How do you apply for permanent residency? There is a process. There are requirements. You need, first of all, to have 3 years work experience. You need a bachelor's degree, and you need to do West evaluation of your certificate, your transcript. And from there, you do IELTS. You write the exam, the general version, then you enter the pool. Then you wait from there for selection. After that, they will tell you the documents you need to submit to apply for permanent residency. And after the submission, it takes at least 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, 1 year, 1.5, even 2 years for them to get you this permanent residency. Remember, I'm going to say it and I will say it again. Student visa is the fastest, but not the shortest. Visitor visa is the slowest. Permanent residency is the shortest, but it's going to delay. It's the shortest visa you will get, but it's going to delay. Now, working visa is not also guaranteed because you can get an employment contract and before you start the process, your offer has expired. It's a lot of problems. But permanent residency, if you have all the requirements, you put in for it, you get selected, and the documents you were asked to submit, you submit them truthfully, then this visa, no matter how long it takes, you are going to get it and you will move to Canada permanently. Please listen to this video well. Now, also understand that with the permanent residency to Canada, you are 3 years away from attaining citizenship. The only difference between you and a Canadian citizen is that you do not own a Canadian passport and you cannot vote. But for tuition fee, you pay the same as a Canadian citizen. And there are a lot of other benefits if you are a permanent resident to Canada. This is the shortest, and though it's going to delay pathway, but this is the shortest pathway you can consider if you meet the requirements. I have a lot of videos on them on my YouTube channel, this particular channel. So you have the right to check and decide. Check my channel and check across the playlist and all the videos you can find. I hope this video helps you. Another thing you should put into consideration is that when you apply for a student visa, you go to Canada, you can work 20 hours a week. With a permanent residency, you can work for any employer and full-time. With a student visa, you can work only part-time and for the employer agreed on. With a working visa, it depends on if it's the type of contract you sign. You can work for their employer, or maybe you cannot work for, if you are signed from outside of Canada, you cannot work for 2 employers. It anyways depends on the contract. Now, with permanent residency, you don't have enough of headache. Like I said, it's a lot of process, so you must be willing to be patient. You must play according to the rules. Any fakeness, you are in serious problems. Make sure when you start from A till you get your permanent residency, you have to get to Z. Don't start from A, you jump to W, and tomorrow, that is, you already understand, mixing documents like this, right? You already know. So this is my advice for you. I hope this visa updates to Canada helps you till we meet again in another one.